Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of What If Civilization Started Over. In the last episode, we saw a couple events happening, such as more brewing, more political brewing in South Africa. We saw China invade this light blue country, some more political issues over in Western Europe, and we also saw a couple countries joining the Cross Alliance. If you enjoyed, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to like and subscribe. This is the first time I'm saying this, but we are heading up to 200 subscribers, and if we hit it, then we'll do what I've done every other time we've hit a major milestone. Week of WICSO. So, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get started. All right. So we will be starting our video off this time coming down here as Sumatra is deciding to continue to get some more land. Say they move in to this red team right here, quickly taking over quite a few islands before being able to get a little bit of help from the island survivor group. Uh, Most of the time, these guys are like peaceful, but just seeing as they can get some free, well, use of their religion, really. That's the big reason they're doing this. So they take over the rest of the part on Papua New Guinea as the last islands fall over to Sumatra. And the peace treaty will just be quick and simple, with the countries getting what they took over. Recently I haven't been doing actual peace treaties, but when I can just do this just because of how like the event actually played out, um, I'm just going to. There's no point in stopping the video if I'm not going to do anything. Alright. But we're going to stay on the topic of the island survivor, as they've just added another country to their group. Well, not really. A couple islands out here in the Caribbean will join the island survivor group. They're not really big, but they they talk to the Caribbean nation, who's like, we're not really in a good spot for fighting. Our whole alliance just kind of got in a big fight, so we don't want to fight. So, yeah, you can just go. So now biggest thing since that's the longest distance since colonialism existed. The next longest was West France and down here. All right, but that's not the only country they add. As another similar thing happens right here, as the light blue team, they initially just wanted to get rid of this land up here, seeing as there wasn't much value with it. They more so wanted this major city, and they wanted some lands out here, but they couldn't get that land. So they just kind of gave it over to the island survivors. And taking a look at the religion map, we see that they have been rapidly spreading their religion. Wait, alright. So, we see them. Yeah, got that. So we see them spreading their religion through Papua New Guinea, and it's again getting to parts other than the territories they have. So you see it there. Over in the Caribbean, it's starting to spread even onto mainland South America. Not a whole lot though, but some parts of the capital. Well, this area is going to be weird looking. Some parts of the capital are mostly in favor of the red or the Swiss religion, and things out here are kind of messy. It looks something like this. It's like parts and parts just being like split between the Swiss and uh, island survivor religions. But elsewhere, it's a bit more calm. And especially in areas with the red team's religion, like they're starting to I guess, well, they're starting to be racist towards the island survivors, saying they're trying to take over the whole world, even just little bit by little bit. And, well, they just instantly back themselves up, saying that's definitely not what we're here to do. So, yeah. Alright, but now we move on, and we see something technically illegal happening. The blue team right here, well, I should kind of explain something real quick. The Triangle Alliance right here, part of the RPGAU in their contract after losing World War II was they're not allowed to exist. None of the countries here can unite. But the blue team thinks they just found a loophole to that, and god dang it, and they will invade into the pink team. The pink team welcomes them with open arms because, of course, they do. And then they fully unite. And the world, especially with the Great Empire, is like, you can't do that. You're uniting with them. But the blue team says, no, no, we're just invading into a neighboring country. Ethiopia's not sure which side to take, because on the one hand, like these are their allies, but on the other hand, they hated the RPGAU. Although once it's split up into small countries that they can like control, it's a bit easier for them. So they're not sure what side to take on this, so they kind of remain silent. And you know what that does? Brings us down here. Because these guys are still fighting each other, still at each other's throats. And um the orange team saying like, hey, you said these guys can't exist, and yet what are you doing about it? Absolutely nothing. And the yellow team is getting pissed off at almost all of these countries. They're really just okay with the gold team because they've always had kind of close relations with them, especially after what happened with Tanzania. But this area is probably the most unstable. Going on to the stability layer, all of these countries have now moved from yellow. Most of them are either orange or red. Mhm. Well, you guys can just take a look at the stability map while I do this. Most of these countries are in orange stability. However, there is one country involved in this that is in yellow, and they're the least involved, and then there's a couple in red out here. Tanzania is the most unstable country here, and now the most unstable country in the world. Makes sense after what's kind of gone down with them. Alright, just a little bit of editing on screen. So everything's starting to get real bad out here. That's cleared. That's clear. Alright, oops. Alright, with the cross alliance, they're still kind of fighting against with the Diamond Alliance. They're kind of separating from the Square Alliance. And with the Triangle Alliance, well, they're they're not really sure what to think about the Triangle Alliance anymore. But if you recall, way back before the RPGAU existed in the first place, you'll remember that two countries on this map were originally part of the Triangle Alliance. And those two countries recently got separated from the RPGAU before it fully collapsed. And those countries are kind of looking for a little bit of help. So they'll join with the, dang it, wrong layer. So they'll join, both of these two will join with the Cross Alliance just to get a little bit more help from the outside forces. And by the outside forces, I do mainly mean the Triangle Alliance. It's kind of looking at them and thinking, those two are traitors and we should get rid of them. That's pretty much what they're thinking right now. But after seeing what happened with the blue team, we see the green country will also decide, hey, we're gonna invade a neighboring country. So they invaded into this lime green country. And then they also will decide to invade into this other green country, because why not? And just like I've been trying to do for so long, they will fully annex both countries, which does create this weird border out here, which is kind of hideous, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, so now we've seen some tensions are brewing up there too. Not as badly, but let's talk about the only alliance we haven't mentioned yet, the Trapezoid Alliance. And what are they doing? Well, not much actually. They've all the countries here have really just been working together recently, and they're getting really good with, or they have really good relations. In fact, so good that two of these countries will decide to unite, and obviously, yes, this is going to be these two. This is really just there is not just a little, but there's quite a bit of political influencing happening with this. Um, Pretty much the Great Lakes Empire, their dictator was not happy with all the land he already had. He wanted more coastline, really. So he did some things over with these guys and pretty much forced them to unite with him. So uh, people aren't too happy with it, but it's it's whatever, right? But now we're gonna come down just a little bit more and actually head South America. As you can see, these two countries here, they're part of the 4-Point Star Alliance, which is the economical alliance of the trapezoid team. Well, they're not part of it anymore. Uh, again with the Great Lakes Empire, they said, if you want to be part of the economic alliance, uh, you got to be part of our team. And these guys did not want to be part of the team. So we also see Central America leaves both alliances, as they're really close with these guys down here. Um, and they're like, if they leave, we leave. And, and up with Greenland, they also are forced to leave the economic alliance. The the Venezuelan team out here, they they're kind of like split. Should we leave these alliances or should we stay? But the Trapezoid team, they're just kind of chilling. A couple countries, um, some a couple from the Diamond Alliance, really, are just like, these guys are kind of suspicious. We don't trust them fully. Um, and yeah, that's there's not much tension from the trapezoids to any other alliance other than the diamonds. The Diamond Alliance has tensions with everybody. I mean, especially now that Italy has joined the Cross Alliance. Switzerland has tensions with Italy. They've got tensions with the Triangle Alliance, who's really anti-colonial. They, for whatever reason, hate. Really, they're just Switzerland and South China had good relations, so now that South China's gone and the Square Team is responsible, they don't really like the Square Team. And then obviously there's the whole colonial age drama going on over here. But that will do it for today's episode of What If Civilization Started Over. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.